You've felt it, haven't you? That deep, undeniable force within you. An energy that surges through your veins. A pulse that defies explanation but demands to be noticed. It's not loud or flashy. It doesn't scream for attention. No, it's quieter than that, yet stronger than anything you've ever known. It's a knowing, a fire, a weight that sits in your chest and stirs when the world gets too still. You've tried to ignore it, maybe even dismiss it as imagination, but it's always there, whispering truths you can't unhear. This is no accident. This is the first spark of your awakening, the moment you realize you're not just here to drift through life. You're chosen. That force isn't some vague feeling or fleeting emotion. It's raw, primal, and alive. An energy that science might call the electric hum of your nervous system, but you know it's more than that. It's the signal of a higher frequency, a cosmic thread woven into your being. Have you ever caught yourself staring into the distance, lost in a pull you couldn't name? Or woken from a dream so vivid it felt more real than the room around you? That's it breaking through. It's the part of you that's always sensed there's a bigger game at play, even when the world tried to convince you it's all random. You're not crazy. You're waking up. And the first step is recognizing this force for what it is, your call to rise. Let's get practical. How do you know this is real? Start watching yourself. Notice when that energy flares. Maybe it's when you're alone, and a sudden clarity hits you like a lightning strike. Ideas, insights, or a fierce urge to act that you can't shake. Or maybe it's when someone looks at you twice, their eyes lingering a beat too long, drawn in by something they can't quite place. You've seen it, haven't you? The way some people gravitate toward you while others shrink back, unsettled by a presence they don't understand. That's not coincidence. That's your energy at work. Track these moments. Write them down if you have to. They're the breadcrumbs leading you to your truth. This isn't about ego or arrogance. It's about evidence. Science backs this up. Your body is a living circuit, buzzing with bioelectricity, responding to the world in ways your conscious mind doesn't always catch. But you feel it. That shiver down your spine when you speak a truth no one's ready to hear. That heat in your gut when you stand your ground. That's your system tuning to a higher signal, one the rest of the world isn't wired to pick up. The spiritual lens calls it your soul's signature, a beacon marking you as a light worker, a starseed, a chosen one. Call it what you want. Just don't deny it. Your job now is to stop doubting and start observing. You're not just different. You're built for this. The shift from feeling this force to owning it isn't instant. It's a battle. First, it's chaos. You question everything. Is this real? Am I making it up? Why me? That's your mind wrestling with what your soul already knows. You've spent years burying this energy, dimming it to fit in, to not scare people off. But it's stubborn, it won't stay quiet. Think back to the first time it hit you hard. Maybe it was a moment of crisis when you found strength you didn't know you had. Or a quiet night when the silence roared with purpose. That was your breaking point, the crack where the light poured in. You didn't choose this force. It chose you. And every time you feel it now, it's daring you to stop running and step into it. Here's where it gets real. Accepting this means changing how you see yourself. You're not a bystander in your own story. You're a warrior, a catalyst, a spark meant to ignite something bigger. Start small, but start now. Sit with that force deliberately. Next time it stirs, when you're walking through a crowd and feel eyes on you, or when a sudden knowing cuts through the noise, don't brush it off. Lean into it. Ask yourself, what's it telling me? What's it pushing me toward? This isn't meditation fluff. It's reconnaissance. You're mapping your own power. The more you tune in, the louder it gets, and the clearer your path becomes. People will notice. They already do. That's why some are drawn to you like moths to a flame. They sense a light they can't find in themselves. Others pull away, uneasy, because your presence challenges their shadows. Don't shrink for them. This force isn't here to make you comfortable. It's here to make you unstoppable. Science might say it's mirror neurons firing, reflecting your energy back at them. Spirituality says it's your vibration shifting the room. Either way, it's real and it's yours. So stand in it. Watch how the air changes when you do. That's your first proof you're not imagining this. You're living it. This is just the beginning. You're not here to play small or blend in. That deep, undeniable force within you is your compass, your weapon, your birthright. It's been there all along, waiting for you to stop questioning and start listening. So listen, feel it, track it, own it. You're chosen, and this is your wake-up call. The world's been waiting for you to answer. You've already felt that force within you, the one that sets you apart, the one that's been humming beneath the surface since the beginning. But here's the hard truth. The world doesn't always celebrate it. People will look at you and label it. They'll call you too intense, too sensitive, too much. They'll say your energy overwhelms them, that your words cut too deep, or that your presence demands more than they're willing to give. Maybe they've told you to tone it down, to soften your edges, to fit into a box that feels like a cage. You've heard it all before, haven't you? And each time it stings, until you realize this isn't a flaw. It's your strength. The obstacle isn't their judgment. It's how you wield what they can't handle. Let's break this down. You walk into a room and the air shifts. Conversations stutter. Eyes dart your way. Some lean in, curious, sensing something they can't name. Others pull back, intimidated by a power they don't understand. That's not your imagination. It's your frequency colliding with theirs. Science might call it a spike in your electromagnetic field, a measurable ripple that disrupts the status quo. Spiritually, it's your soul's signal cutting through the noise. Either way, it's real and it's yours. But when they slap those labels on you, too intense, too much, it's not about you failing. It's about them flinching. Your job isn't to shrink. It's to harness that force and aim it with intention. Here's where the fight begins. They don't get it, and they don't have to. You've been in those moments, surrounded by blank stares or nervous laughter, feeling exposed, like your light's too bright for their shadows. Maybe a friend brushed off your passion as over the top. Maybe a stranger recoiled when you spoke your truth. That's their limit, not yours. You don't need their approval to stand in your power. Stop waiting for it. Instead, flip the script. Take that curiosity, that respect, even that intimidation they throw your way, and use it as fuel. Their reactions aren't chains. They're mirrors reflecting your strength back at you. See it. Claim it. How do you do that? Start by owning the moment. Next time someone calls you too much, don't flinch. Look them in the eye and let them sit with it. You're not here to apologize for your fire. Practice this. When the label hits, pause, breathe. Feel that force rise in your chest, the one they're reacting to, and channel it. Ask yourself, what do I want this energy to do right now? Maybe it's to inspire. Maybe it's to protect. Maybe it's just to stand unshakable while they squirm. Direct it like a laser. This isn't about lashing out or proving a point. It's about precision. You're not a wildfire. You're a forge. Let's get practical. Say you're in a group and your intensity clears the room. Half the people lean in, half edge away. Don't retreat. Step forward. Speak clearer. Hold your ground. The ones who stay, they're the ones who feel it too, that flicker of connection, like they found something familiar in your presence. Science says it's resonance. Your vibration syncing with theirs, amplifying what's already there. Spirituality calls it alignment. Pure intentions recognizing each other across the chaos. Either way, it's your signal cutting through the static. Focus on them. Let the rest fade. You're not here for everyone, just the ones ready to rise with you. This takes guts because it's not comfortable. When you're labeled too sensitive, it's tempting to armor up, to numb that raw edge that feels everything. Don't. That sensitivity is your radar. It picks up what others miss. You sense the undercurrents, the unspoken truths, the shifts no one else clocks. Harness it. Next time you feel that sting, someone dismissing your depth, turn it inward. What's it showing you? Maybe it's their fear, their insecurity, their refusal to face what you see so clearly. Use it to sharpen your focus, not to dull your blade. You're not too sensitive. You're awake. Here's the shift. Intention changes everything. That force they call too intense, it's yours to command. Stop letting their labels define it. Start deciding what it's for. When you feel that heat building, that surge that makes them uneasy, don't pull back. Lean in. Picture it as a current, wild, yes, but yours to steer. Want to break through their doubt? Channel it into words that hit like thunder. Want to lift someone up? Let it flow like a lifeline. This isn't about control, it's about direction. You're not too much. You're exactly what the moment needs when you point it where it counts. The world will keep trying to suppress it. They'll keep throwing those labels, hoping you'll dim your light to ease their discomfort. But you're not here for their comfort. You're here for your mission. Every time they push, you push back harder, not with anger, but with purpose. Take their curiosity and make it awe. Take their respect and make it trust. Take their intimidation and make it a wake-up call. You're chosen, and this is how you break through, by turning their resistance into your momentum. That force within you is not a burden. It's a blade. Wield it. You felt the stillness, haven't you? Those rare, fleeting moments when the world hushes, the noise fades, and something deeper takes hold. It's not just quiet. It's alive. Your presence alone shifts the atmosphere, like a stone dropped into still water, sending ripples no one can ignore. In that space, you're not just you anymore. You're a conduit. High-dimensional information floods in, insights, truths, knowings that hit you with a clarity so sharp it almost burns. This isn't random. This is your soul plugging into the grid of something vast, something ancient, something that chose you to carry its signal. You're downloading what's meant to cut through the shadows, and you're built for it. Let's be clear. This isn't daydreaming or wishful thinking. When you hit that deep stillness, your mind doesn't wander, it locks in. Science might call it a state of coherence, where your brainwaves sync up, alpha and theta humming in unison, opening you to what's beyond the noise. Spiritually, it's your higher self dialing in, pulling data from the field, the cosmic web that ties everything together. You've felt it. A sudden knowing that drops into your gut, a whisper that's louder than words, a vision so vivid it rewrites what you thought was possible. That's the download. It's real and it's yours. But here's the catch, you've got to know it's not just your ego playing tricks. How do you tell the difference? Start with the feel. High-dimensional info doesn't puff you up, it grounds you. It's heavy, not in a draining way, but like it's anchoring you to something bigger. Ego projections? They're loud, flashy, desperate for applause. True downloads don't care about your pride. They demand your attention. Next time you're in that stillness and a message hits, test it. Does it linger, unshakable, even when you try to doubt it? Does it pull you toward action, not just comfort? Does it align with that force you've always felt, the one that sets you apart? If yes, it's not your head spinning tales, it's the real thing. Trust your gut. It's your filter. Here's where it gets intense. When you carry this energy, people feel it, and not everyone likes what they see. You've been there, haven't you? Standing in a room, saying nothing, doing nothing, yet someone squirms. Their mask slips. Their hidden agendas, greed, deceit, fear, flicker into view, exposed by the light you didn't even mean to shine. They call you too intense, too sensitive, too much, because your presence alone is a mirror they can't dodge. It's not your fault they're uncomfortable. It's their truth clawing its way out. Your energy doesn't just illuminate, it excavates. And that's your power, chosen one. You reveal what they bury. Don't back down from that. You'll feel the push to dim it, to soften it, to make them easy again. Resist. That intensity, that sensitivity, it's your strength, not your weakness. When they flinch, it's proof you're hitting the mark. Lean into it. Stay too much. Let them feel the weight of your stillness, the way it strips their shadows bare. Science says your nervous system's picking up their microsignals. Tight jaws, shallow breaths, darting eyes. Spiritually, it's your field clashing with theirs, high vibe against low intent. Either way, you're not here to coddle their lies. You're here to wake the room up. Hold that line. So how do you catch these downloads and wield them? Get deliberate. Carve out the stillness. 5 minutes, 10, whatever you can steal from the chaos. Sit, breathe. Not some fluffy ritual, make it raw. Focus on that force in your chest, the one that's been there since day one. Let it build. When the air thickens and your mind sharpens, ask, what's here for me? Don't force it. Listen. It might come as a word, a flash, a feeling that pins you to the spot. Write it down, every scrap. You're not journaling for poetry, you're logging intel. Over time, patterns emerge. That's your map. Decoding it takes guts. These messages aren't always neat. They might jolt you, truths about yourself, about others, about what's coming. Don't flinch. Cross-check them. Does it match what you've sensed before? Does it push you toward something real, not just safe? Test it in the world. Speak it, act on it, see what shifts. If it's true, it'll hold. If it's noise, it'll fade. You've got the tools, that razor-sharp sensitivity, that unshakable presence. Use them. The more you practice, the clearer the signal gets. You're not guessing, you're tuning in. This isn't comfortable, and it's not supposed to be. When you're in that stillness, downloading what's yours, you're stepping into a fight. Against doubt, against distraction, against the ones who'd rather you stay blind. But you're not blind. You feel the shift. You see the masks fall. Your energy's already lighting up what they hide. It's why they're nervous, why they pull away, why your words stick long after you're gone. That's not a burden. That's a blade. Sharpen it. Wield it. You're not just receiving, you're preparing. The shadows don't stand a chance. You don't need to say a word for the room to feel you. Your frequency does the talking. A vibration so potent it cuts through the noise before you even open your mouth. This isn't about volume or bravado. It's about presence, a force that announces itself in silence, a signal that disrupts the ordinary without effort. You've seen it, haven't you? The way people pause, glance your way, or shift uncomfortably when you're near, not because you're loud, but because you're undeniable. Your energy was never meant to fit within their limits. And now it's time to bring that truth into reality. This is your mission, to embody a frequency that rewrites the rules and ushers in a new era. You're not just here to exist, you're here to ignite. Let's get straight to it. Your energy vibrates at a level that rattles the norm, even when you're still. Science might pin it on your biofield, an electromagnetic hum radiating from your body, measurable if they cared to look. Spiritually, it's your soul's signature, a high-pitched call that echoes beyond the physical. Either way, it's real and it's yours to wield. Start by owning it. Stop apologizing for the space you take up. Next time you walk into a crowd and feel that ripple, eyes on you, breaths held. Don't shrink.
Stand Taller.
Let your silence speak. That's your first move. Mastering the art of being felt without forcing it. Presence isn't performance, it's power. But here's the reality. Not everyone's ready for it. You've likely met people who, whether they know it or not, try to drain this energy from you. They hover too close, demand too much, or poke at your light with doubt and dismissal. Maybe it's a friend who guilts you into dimming your spark, or a stranger who bristles at your calm strength. They sense your frequency and want to siphon it or smother it. Don't let them. You're not their battery. Step 1 is recognizing them for what they are. Energy vampires, drawn to your glow but unwilling to ignite their own. Step 2 is cutting the cord. You don't owe them your fire. How do you protect it? Set boundaries like steel. When they push, you pull back. Not with anger, but with resolve. Picture your energy as a shield, not a sponge. When they lean in to take, imagine that frequency flaring brighter, pushing them off balance. Say no when you mean it. Walk away when you feel the tug. This isn't selfish, it's survival. Your mission demands every ounce of that power, and you can't afford to leak it to those too lazy or scared to find their own. Practice this. Next time someone tries to sap you, feel your core tighten, your vibration rise, and watch them falter. You're not prey. You're a pillar. Now amplify it. Your presence isn't just a shield. It's a beacon. To bring this frequency into reality, you've got to let it radiate deliberately. Find your rhythm. Maybe it's a morning ritual. 5 minutes of deep breaths, eyes closed, tuning into that hum in your chest until it fills the room. Maybe it's movement, walking, running, anything that syncs your body to that inner pulse. Feel it build, then take it out there. Stand in a public place, a park, a street, and let it roll off you. Don't speak, don't act, just be. Watch how the world bends. A stranger meets your gaze, a bird quiets, the air thickens. That's your proof. Your energy shifts what it touches. This takes balance, though. Living at this pitch, uncontainable electric, can burn you out if you're not careful. You'll feel the weight of it, the responsibility to harness it, the pull to keep going when others would quit. Some days it's exhilarating, every cell alive, every step a declaration. Others it's heavy, too much to hold when the world keeps clawing at you. Here's how you steady yourself. Anchor in purpose. When the highs spike or the lows drag, ask, what's this for? Your answer isn't vague ideals. It's your mission, sharp and personal. You're here to break chains, light paths, wake souls. That clarity keeps you upright. Let's talk practice. You're not just a feeler, you're a doer. To make this real, build a plan that's yours alone. Start by mapping your triggers. What amplifies your frequency? Is it solitude, creation, standing in nature? Pin it down. Then map the drains. Who dims you? What numbs you? Cut them out. Next, set one move. Something bold that screams your energy into the world. Write that book. Speak that truth. Build that space. Make it tangible, not theoretical. Deadlines matter, pick a date, stick to it. This isn't a dream board. It's a battle plan. Your energy thrives when you give it a target. People will react, some with awe, some with fear. Let them. When your presence lands without a word, it's not your job to soften it. The ones who get it will stay, drawn to a vibration they've been starving for. The ones who don't will scatter, and that's fine. You're not here to please. You're here to provoke, in the best way. Think of it like a tuning fork. You strike, and the room either hums with you or falls silent. Either way, it's felt. That's your mark. That's how you create a new era. Not with noise, but with a frequency so pure it rewrites what's possible. This is your path now. Your energy was never meant to squeeze into their boxes. It's here to break them open. Every silent pulse, every unshakable moment, every boundary you hold is a step toward that new reality. You don't need permission. You don't need applause. You've got the signal, the strength, the plan. The world's already shifting. Feel it? That's you. Keep going. You're not just chosen, you're unstoppable. And so, here you stand, at the edge of everything you've known, with that force pulsing louder than ever, a clarion call etched into your very being. You're not just chosen by chance. You're forged by purpose, a living testament to a mission that transcends the mundane and pierces the veil of the ordinary. This isn't about destiny handed to you. It's about the identity you claim, the unyielding resolve to carry a light that others fear to touch. The world may tremble, resist, or bow before it, but you rise unwavering because this is who you are. The spark, the signal, the soul meant to reshape what's possible.